All right, guys, welcome back to another week of the Love on UK weekly recaps. We're up to week 6.
Week 6 already, and it's been another big week. There's been DJs, there's been donkey dates, there's been Anton giving out his number. There's been everything. There's even been Amy leaving the villa.
It's had everything that you could have had in a week. And what I wanted to say is one of my favourite DJs was brought in.
DJ Teddy Briggs.
Yeah. We had Craig David enter the house. I actually thought he was going to be the next...
I actually did as well. When he was walking in, I was like, oh, this guy looks a bit old.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So as you guys saw, Danny and Jordan were dumped at the start of the week, and that was via text. I think... You know, there wasn't much of them shown towards the end of that week. There was probably 3 or 4 days where the public didn't really see what was going on, so we didn't know where their relationship was at.
And I think that reflected in the voting for the dumping. So we hadn't really seen where their relationship was progressing, so ultimately the public fell out of love with their relationship.
Exactly, and obviously when you don't see them, you just don't know what's going on. So I think they were the right people to go at that time, and it is what it is. They were dumped from the island. And Danny did have his chances. He had Yewande, Arabella, and then he had Jordan.
I felt as though Danny was more leaning towards a bit of a game-playing situation. I know that him and Yewande went through a big drama, and then he sort of fought for Arabella. But then once Arabella left, he sort of the same chat-up lines, the same game he had was then put onto Jordan. And I was like, I feel like we've seen this story before.
And the thing is, it's funny you say that because we sort of see the same stories with Michael, Amber, and Joanna. You know, I feel like some of the stuff that Michael said to Amber, he's starting to say to Joanna. And that's another love triangle that I'd like to touch on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But first of all, so obviously there was a dumping and it was done via text.
Yeah.
What is the feeling like being dumped via text rather than when the host, Sophie Monk or Caroline Flack, comes in? How does it affect the villa?
I think, obviously, it feels a lot more personable when the monk comes in and it's sort of done face-to-face. You know that it's a big thing going to happen. Whereas if it's just via text, you think it's just going to be a challenge or... you know, something else is going to happen. So I think they were a little bit blindsided. I don't think they expected it.
Well, you're sitting by the fireplace and you're not really prepared for someone to go home. You're sort of chilling out. You don't really know what's happening. And then you're getting these step-by-steps via text.
Yeah.
And I was never dumped from the villa. You got dumped from the villa. So you sort of have a bit more of an understanding what it feels like to be thrown out of the villa.
When I got dumped, you cried, so...
I felt sorry for you, mate. You didn't really get the full experience in that.
No. So what happened when I got dumped, he cried, and it was actually because he was safe. So he just felt a lot of relief go off him, so you don't have to hide it.
Relief you're out of the villa. A second couple was also dumped. That was Lucy and George. Now, Lucy had had a very, very interesting time in the villa. She'd seen it all. She'd had a half relationship. She'd fell in love with someone who was seeing another girl, and now they're official. What did you think of Lucy's time in the villa?
Look, I think she got off to a good start. I think Lucy and Joe were your 2 favourite people at the start. And
rub it in, go and say
I think once your man got kicked off, I think from there it was pretty much just downhill for Lucy. I think she was sort of just plodding around. She wanted to get with Tommy, but she obviously couldn't with Molly-Mae. And then I think she just couldn't find that connection, and old Georgie boy didn't have much chat.
So they were obviously voted out due to an in-house Islander vote.
Yep.
How does that affect the villa rather than just a recoupling vote out or a vote from the public? Because that one is very different because your own fellow Islander people are voting you out.
Yeah.
I said that terrible, but they're voting you out. So basically you're not only thinking that the public want you, you're also now thinking it's a double whammy. Your own Islanders aren't liking you as well.
Well, that's it. I think, you know, obviously it's one thing for the public to say it, and that's what they're seeing from the outside, but for your Islanders to then go and say it, it's a little bit of a kick in the ass. But at the same time, I think they knew that they weren't a strong couple, so what can you do? That's
it, mate. Speaking of kicking up the asses, Amber, Michael and Joanna, what is going on with that? I feel like Amber is... She's struggling at the moment because she's really getting that sense of she still has strong feelings for Michael. She still is living in the past of their relationship, and it must be hard for her because she's one of those types of people that doesn't want to showcase all of her emotions. She doesn't want to put all her cards out in the open. She's quite closed off.
Well, she's done that from the start. She's sort of been a closed book from day one. I don't think she's ever opened up to anyone other than Michael, and once she did open up, it sort of just got cut down pretty quickly. So it is hard for her now. Like, obviously she's opened up and it's been cut down, so she's still got those feelings there, and you can't really hide that.
Now, Joanna's upset with Michael because she's saying that Michael hasn't told Amber it's 100% done. And she's saying that if you were true about your feelings towards me, you would say to Amber, it's done, it's over, it's not happening again. But she's saying you haven't said that. So should Joanna be worried?
Look, I think the actions speak for themselves. I don't think you necessarily have to say we're 100% done. I think it's pretty obvious that he's moved on to Joanna. So I don't think that needs to be said.
Because Michael's argument is, I don't want to be a knob and tell her it's done, it's over, move on.
Yeah.
He's sort of saying, I'm being the nice guy and saying, like, we can still be friends. We still have a great relationship as friends, and I want to move forward like that. Do you think that Michael's being a good bloke by saying, he wants to say, we can still be friends, you know, he's not saying done, move on. Or do you think he's being a bit of a...
I think he's doing what he said. I think he's just not wanting to completely cut it off. I think he still does want that friendship there. I don't think he's playing his cards with Amber and playing his cards with Joanna. I think he literally just doesn't want to sound like that dickhead that
Dom Thomas.
That completely just shuts her down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Is there any chance, I know I asked you this last week and I think I asked you the week before, is there any chance Michael and Amber can rekindle?
Well, we've asked it for a few weeks. When is this going to stop is my question. I think, I don't think they're going to get back.
Really?
No, I don't think there's any chance. I think Michael and Joanna will either go to the distance or another shock recoupling will come in, and
I'm not giving hope on Michael and Amber. I still feel like when they're talking, when they're spending time together, I can feel a connection there.
Yeah.
You know, and I can see something could potentially form. It's whether Michael wants to go back and whether Amber will swallow her pride and say to Michael, you know, I still do really have feelings for you.
Amber would do it straight up. If Michael went back to her, straight off the bat, Amber would jump straight at it. I just don't think Michael will do that.
Anyways, as we said before, Amy has walked out of the villa. Massive play. What are your thoughts of her telling Curtis that she doesn't think Curtis can be happy and move on with her in the villa? Do you think that it's something that she did out of, you know, thinking about the bigger picture, or do you think it's too much to handle, the pressure's mounting?
It's way too much to handle. I think she's done it as a bit of a selfless act. I think she knows Curtis wants to move on. She personally can't move on. She can't see anyone else in the villa that she will get a connection with. So I think she's just done the right thing. She's gone, I'm going to cut my losses here and just leave and let Curtis do his own thing.
Did Morra force Amy's hand? Because Morra has made the move on Curtis.
Mate, I think 100%. She sort of was playing in Amy's mind. She was saying, oh no, he's a dickhead, like he shouldn't do that, he shouldn't do this, so that he got in Amy's mind, that she got in Amy's mind, and then Amy wanted to leave, and then Morra just goes, and straight in.
I do feel like Morra, with a lot of the dramas, a lot of the people leaving other people, Morra's always there chirping in an ear.
Yeah.
So I feel like it could go either way. Morra might be thinking of the big plan of like, oh, I want to try and get Amy out of the villa so I can caw in and swoop for Curtis. But she also, she's been there for a lot of the drama. I feel like she almost likes to be there, giving advice for the drama, playing the cards, saying he's not in love with you, making the big calls.
Yeah, and as we said last week, I think Morra knows what to say, when to say it, how to do it, who to be in a couple with, just to stay in the show. So I think both Morra and Curtis, to be honest, I think Curtis is playing the game massively. And I think he's a manipulator, in my eyes, Josh.
Well, speaking of Morra and Curtis, there's a new love triangle forming. That is with Morra, Curtis, and the new arrival, Francesca.
Yep.
What do you think about this? Morra has started to admit to Curtis that she has big feelings for him. She's always had something for him. Do you think that is truthful? Do you think that's been brought up by the new arrival coming, and do you think the pressure of Amy leaving again is making her commit to that?
Morra obviously said to Curtis before the new arrival came in that she had feelings for him. I think before the show even aired, Curtis apparently DM'd Morra, so there was that sort of connection there.
Yeah.
I think just
so if you DM someone, that's a connection there.
Yeah, mate, I DM Amelia all the time. But I just think there was that connection there, and I think they're just sort of playing on that. And obviously the new girl that's come in, Francesca, she's just having a crack at Curtis because really, who else is there?
Oh, so you feel like he's the last one of a good standing bunch?
I think so. Who else? Who would you say? Marvin? Nah, he's all right. Marvin's a good bloke. I just don't think any of those guys from Casa Amor had great chat. There is another New Islander, though. There's this Chris bloke. I think he's a good addition.
I'm on the fence about Chris. There's times where I feel like Chris is adding a lot to the villa. There's times where I think he might be a bit of a game player. I'm still trying to work out what Chris's what his role in the villa is at the moment.
Yeah. Look, I had a look at his Instagram from way back. I had a little bit of a stalk, and he's literally just a funny bloke. He does all these weird videos. He's a weirdo. He's like you, Josh. He just does weird things, and I think he's a great addition to the villa. I think he's got good chat. He's funny. He's good.
You're right, he does sound like me. Good chat, great to the villa. Oh yeah, I agree with you on that one. So yeah, I'm stoked you said that. Yeah, I think that Chris needs to find out who to put all his cards into. I mean, I think he had a half crack at Amber. He's having a half crack at Francesca.
And Morra as well.
Every time I look at him, he's got a different hairstyle though. I don't know, like it's all muffled up, it's kind of slicked back. I think he needs to sort out that first, and then he can work out who he's gonna have a crack at.
Talking about haircuts quickly. Talking about haircuts.
Oh no.
One thing that we had when we were on Love Island, we got these days off, and that's when we sort of got our haircuts.
Yeah.
And now the boys have gone out and they've gone shopping, and Anton has given a girl in the public his number. What is the go with that?
Well, the thing is with that, there's two sides to this story. I can see Belle's side, I can see Anton's side. Anton's side is looking at it like it was a joke, it was a bit of banter, it was just a bit of fun.
I'm now a new star in the UK, so I can do whatever I want.
And Belle's side is saying, well, hang on, aren't we meant to be building a connection? We're meant to be building a relationship.
Yeah.
Why would you give out your number to a random person? What are you trying to achieve by that? So I'm leaning more towards the side of, I think it was a bit of fun, but I don't think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I think it sends a really bad message out to give your number out to someone, and I feel if I was in Belle's shoes, I wouldn't be happy.
You wouldn't be happy, but I think you're right. I think they were just having a bit of fun with the boys.
Okay, so with Anton leaving the villa with the lads, they went shopping, they've done a few things. It reminded me of when we were in the villa, we got to leave, and go on a date. We got to go shopping. I went fishing. I caught a big marlin. It was about 1 metre long. They didn't air that, but...
yeah, because it didn't happen.
So what is it like, I'll ask you, to leave the villa and do all these activities? Because you're obviously cooped up in that villa for such a long time. It's a very, pressure cooker in there. What's it like to leave?
I think it's good. It's a good time to, get that connection with the person you've gone on the date with. One thing I did find awkward was you're obviously in the public. You're in these little towns in Mallorca, and there's cameras that are on you guys, and people are wondering what the hell's going on here. So it is awkward, but at the same time, it is nice to get out and sort of have those little dates. Yeah,
it's interesting because when you're in the villa, you're obviously mic'd up. There's a lot of cameras around. When you leave the villa, you're still mic'd up. There's still cameras around, but it's almost like you get to enjoy yourself a bit out in the public. And even though you are still, filming a TV show and stuff, it's nice to kind of just be outside, look around, and
see other people and hear music and see dogs. Like as small as that sounds, like it's so true. We're sort of in a villa where you don't get music, you don't see anyone else. So it is nice.
Yeah. It reminded me of your date with Shelby when you guys went on
a donkey.
You went on a date with a donkey,
yeah.
And that was really interesting because I think it went to a public vote to say who's the better looking.
Sorry, Shelby went on a date with a donkey.
The date said who's the better looking date, the donkey or Dom, and the donkey was 52% got rated over you. So I thought that was really interesting to see that. But speaking of dates and everything going really well, Tommy and Molly-Mae.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just hitting new strides every single week. What do you think about?
I think at the moment, they're obviously, and for the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, they've been the main couple. I don't think they're going to break, and I probably think they'll win.
What do you think about him making it official?
Oh, that was massive. So obviously, one thing I did want to talk about was when people do make it official in the Love Island villa, it's a massive deal because all of us get so excited and we sort of want to make it a big deal. So like Erin and Eden, for example, they had this whole thing where we're all holding cards.
Yeah.
Grant and Taylor, like they obviously were out on a date and they had like this whole big setup.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tommy just got this little bloody teddy bear and put it on the balcony. So there wasn't much budget in that, but it was still really nice, I thought.
It's interesting because you saw with Tommy, he grabbed a makeup pen and he found like an old makeup wipe or something, and he was trying to write a speech for her because there's no pen, there's no paper, there's no anything in the villa to write.
And the reason for that is because I think, if me and you were just writing notes to each other, like, let's like couple up with so-and-so, like you can sort of plan stuff. So I think that's probably the reason why there are no pens or paper.
I thought it was really nice that they turned all the way back to the hideaway, which is where their relationship began, obviously in the spa. I thought that was a really nice scene where they were spending the time in bed alone from the rest of the villa and just sort of talking about where they see the relationship at the moment, where they see themselves in the future.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're in a really good spot to fall in love. Well,
absolutely.
Basically, they did admit that they were in love with each
They are
other.
in love.
They are in love.
After what, 5 weeks you're in love? I've probably fallen in love quicker than that.
You definitely have. Okay, guys, like every week, we're going to do a few fan questions that we want to do. So, as we said, we never know what the questions are coming, and we just read them off the screen.
Straight off the bat. So, I'll ask the first one. So, thoughts on doing Love Island over 70s, and that's from Soy Cal McLaughlin.
Love Island, like during the 1970s, or for over 70-year-olds?
Over 70s.
I would definitely tune into it. I
Yeah.
feel like there might be some health hazards with getting people over 70. Like there could be a hip replacement challenge, or I don't know what you could do, but you'd have to have a lot of people.
And those nurse challenges would definitely be...
Well, they'd be legit.
They
You'd
would
actually
be
need to
legit.
bring in a proper nurse to make
Yeah.
sure that they're all good. But yeah, I mean, I'd tune into it for sure.
Yeah. All right, so this is another one.
Okay, so this is from Ann_A, and it is Josh. Were you ever jealous of Dom, since apparently Amelia liked him?
Yeah.
I was never jealous of Dom. I was never worried about Dom trying to take Amelia. I saw the way he spoke to girls. I saw the way he handled himself in the villa, and I was never worried. So,
Mate, I stood back because I'm a good mate. I knew Amelia liked me, but she liked myself, you, and Teddy at the time. I just sort of left it to you and Teddy.
and we know who won there.
All right, guys, there you have it. That's our recap of Week 6, Love Island UK. If you want to catch up on Week 6 or watch Week 7 this coming week, go to 9 now.
And you can search our podcast, type in Intelligence Pending, or on Spotify or on iTunes. If you love the show, leave us a 5-star rating. We appreciate all your feedback, and we can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see ya.
Stream new episodes 6 p.m. daily on 9 Now.